you listen and learn.
Love takes happiness.
That once was strong,
but you
even that's turned wrong.
Times have changed.
Hey, it's cool to look bummy and be a dumb dummy and disrespect your mommy.
Have you forgotten?
Who put you on this earth, huh?
What you are?
And who loved just as your birth? The world is a brainwash, keep going wild. Young little girls already have a child.
Bad company.
Hey, now you've been framed,
The parents are
hurted and ashamed,
for ruining yourself.
and your mommy can't cope. Hey, little kids, don't follow these dopes.
As a rule from
Your life don't drool. Don't be a fool like those that don't go to school
get ahead.
and accomplish things. You'll see the wonder and the joy life brings.
Don't admire these.
Hey, they don't admire you. Their time's limited, hard rocks too. So listen, be strong, scream whoopee-doo. Go for yours, cause dreams come true.
And you'll make your mommy
So proud of you too.
And this is a message
That the ruler Rick threw, and it's true.
You know what? We like to party, to party. You know what?
Hey, young world.
We like to party, to party.
Hey, young world.
All right. This is the face of the man who's pissed off.
Welcome to another episode of Steady Mobbin Podcast, episode 5.
I don't give a fuck.
And 522.
We don't give a fuck.
We have a special guest in the building. On our platform, we want to normalize showing black men that we appreciate them. Let them know that they are doing great things and they're valuable to the culture. This man, I consider such. He is what I consider the godfather of Canadian hip-hop media.
Say that again.
There is 3 things I appreciate about this man. His commitment, his discipline, and his passion. You can't put a price tag on those 3 things.
No.
Because when life is lifing, you still got to put the content out. People still want the content. And he's managed to do this for 6 years. You guys don't understand. 6 years daily, just putting out content. I aspire to be in the game as long as he's been doing it. And money doesn't come quick in this game. It takes a while.
It does.
So imagine doing something daily and not getting paid for it. That's where the passion comes in. That's where the discipline comes in. And that's where the commitment comes in. Make some noise for Friday of We Love Hip Hop Network.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for coming out.
Thank you. No pictures, please.
We appreciate you coming by, my brother.
Yo, are you a Telly
thanks for having
Ting?
me.
Are you a Telly Ting?
Let me show the shirt. Boom, boom,
Fam,
boom.
I should
I'm gonna
already
start
have
selling
one of
these.
those, bro.
You know what? You know what? I'm gonna send you the logo. Maybe you could get your own shirt pressed.
Yeah.
You know, the shirt is from Giant Tiger. Went to Square One, got this pressed. For those who don't know,
Giant Tigers are still.
Salute to Giant Tiger.
yo, listen. Don't disrespect Giant Tiger. For those wondering what a Telly Ting is, I'm gonna have Friday explain it, okay? Because it's been a big week for Friday. He had a viral interview with a Canadian female artist by the name of Lady SB.
Salute.
He asked her a question, the question that is on my shirt. You could check it out on YouTube to see how that went. And my question is, was that premeditated or was that a real situation?
I'll say this about the situation. And a lot of people have asked me about this situation, right? Nobody was hurt. Okay. And as people can see from the interview, it was a 34-minute interview, right?
Yeah.
It wasn't like with the Birdman interview, it was done.
Yeah.
That was like an 8-minute clip we seen on Breakfast Club. It was like, why is it only 8 minutes?
Because I got word for you. Because somebody came into the frame, you stood up, and there was a bunch of shuffling, and I'm like, oh my God.
That was your man's though. Who stood up? The guy who stood up.
No, that was her people.
That was her people's for sure.
That was her
Yeah,
people.
I'm guessing it was her man. So I'm like,
No, that wasn't her man, but it was like she had her peoples there. But I'm never alone on set.
okay.
You know what I'm saying? It may seem sometimes that I'm alone on set. Sometimes I am alone, but sometimes in certain situations, I don't.
Yeah,
I don't
yeah.
put
You
myself-
gotta have some people.
And if I'm on camera, a lot of the times, like if I'm sitting next to the guest on the couch, it's because somebody else is in the room filming.
got
You know
it.
what I'm saying?
Got it.
And I'm not saying, like furniture was moved around and everything like that, but at the end of the day, the interview was finished, right? So
Okay.
we got through.
Shout out, Lady SB.
Yeah,
we
salute to
want
her.
you on the podcast.
Yeah, no, she's and for the people, even with her, a lot of people were like getting at her and stuff like that, and a lot of female rappers like her, you know what I'm saying, who push the sexy image and stuff like that. But in the end of the day, a lot of these people are humans. Like they're really nice people. She was really cool behind the scenes, and without the hiccup on the scenes too, right?
Yeah.
So I feel for them when they go through these comments and they're like reading just people calling them wild shit, bro.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
It's probably hard on the mental.
And you had to ask that question, right? Because you speak
I didn't
on behalf.
have to,
Well,
but I did.
you. I feel like as media personalities, we have like an obligation to our audience to ask those key questions, regardless of how uncomfortable those questions may be. But if it's something that is a consensus amongst your audience, you gotta ask that, because if you don't ask it, then you kind of look away. So did you feel that pressure? Like I gotta ask this question.
My whole thing is like, I go by what I want to know, as well as what the people want to know. Okay, I find out what I want to know through my research, whether it's through other interviews and different things like that, music. But what the people want to know is usually reflected in the comments.
Absolutely.
Right? So another part of my research is going through videos that you might have posted on your Instagram, or if I'm doing a YouTube search and one of your Instagram videos is popping up there, and then I'm going to go through the comments.
Yeah.
Right? Because the comments a lot of times tell the tale.
Got it. So when she says, no, I'm not a Telly Ting, do you believe her?
I believe her.
Okay.
So,
believe
so on Urban Dictionary, I typed in Telly Ting.
I'd like to hear this.
This what popped up. A Telly Ting, a female who works in a hotel and sells her body
Oh, wow.
to all the mandem that comes in. That's what it says. That's what it says on Urban Dictionary. It's and then they go into having like an exchange. So here it goes. So it says me, yo fam, you know Stacy the Telly Ting? Fan response, yeah. She was making dollars for the mandem in my telly last night.
Wow.
So that's the definition.
I feel like we
in
gotta
the
make some noise for
conversation.
the Urban Dictionary, because the
I know, right
accuracy
there.
is impeccable.
Hilarious. No, but no, for real. Like, what is a Telly Ting for you?
I think the Urban Dictionary got it right.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they nailed
basically.
it. Yeah,
A girl
yeah.
works through hotels and makes her money.
That's
doing
I mean,
hilarious.
and we're not knocking that. You gotta do what you gotta do, right?
it.
Okay.
Ain't no shame in the game.
It's been a big week for you. Chris Guy interview.
Big bite.
Entertaining interview. You pulled out the receipts on him. He denies the receipts, and the receipts being that he may have a white supremacist bone in his body.
Shocking.
And over the years, there has been some allegations. It seems like there may be a pattern. But, as journalists, we want the facts. So tell us about that interview, and particularly that part of the interview when you called him out on something that he said in 2014.
The thing is with that interview, and I explained even on my own platform, I messed up with that interview. I came prepared with my information, but I didn't come prepared with my delivery of the questions and the way I was going to be asking them. Okay? I know how Chris Guy can be. I've watched a lot of his content, and I know that he can be really, really erratic. He can be aggressive. So when you're asking questions, no matter what your questions are, you have to ask them in a certain kind of way, or you're not going to get to the end of your question. He'll start answering what he thinks your question's going to be before you even get to the end of your sentence.
Is that a sign of guilt, you think?
It can be, but it's also just media training for his own style. Like, I don't want to give him the same kind of like elevation or the same level. I mean, like of a Trump or something like that. But they're using the same rule books, man.
Yeah, I can see the similar.
You know what I'm saying? Like they know how to spin you out of your game, bro.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I've had years of interviewing people, but I'm not interviewing people who are screaming at me and calling me names.
Yeah,
Well,
and they're
most
not
of the
your
time.
typical. They're not your typical politicians. Like certain politicians have like a certain level of decorum.
Yeah.
Like Chris Guy will get in the mud with you. You know what I mean?
Which reminds me, this guy went foul this week as well. Furthermore, I don't know if you saw the clip. I'm sure
Yeah,
you
with
saw it.
YG and everything.
Is this somebody was telling me the other day? This was like an old clip, like a year-old clip. Is that the case?
What, that interview that he was doing?
Yeah, or is that
I
recent?
don't know.
I thought that was recent. No, that was
might be-
recent.
Somebody was telling me that's a year-old clip. Somebody said.
Does it even matter though? Because the allegation is
Yes.
what it is.
What is? Chris Scott.
I'm not gonna say what the
I'm not
allegation
fucking.
is.
After I saw that video, I'm not fucking with Chris Scott anymore. Publicly,
problem
I'm
with
not
those
talking
guys.
shit about the guy. Go fuck yourself.
You sure we don't want him on the podcast?
No, thank you.
Okay.
Yes, listen, you can get him
I
on,
have
but
nothing to
you
do
might
with that
not
guy.
be able to get it up on your YouTube channel because
That's
his
true.
interview that we have with him on our network that got taken down for misinformation. Like
Did you guys talk about COVID?
that's what it was in the height of COVID.
Oh,
so,
yeah,
right.
yeah.
That's all he was
Yeah,
on, like
yeah,
and
yeah.
talking about.
Yeah.
You don't have to do this, you don't have to do that, and all well and good of whatever that is, right? I didn't disagree with a lot of his points, but YouTube wasn't having it.
They were having it. Yeah.
Right? So we got a strike that week, and they didn't even give us an opportunity to say, let's appeal it or whatever. They were like, it was this video, and it's gone.
That's it.
Like, they just
Yeah.
stripped it.
Yeah, got to stay away from the COVID conversation.
Yeah.
Sorry to cut you off. You were talking about his comment to YG and
Yeah. Like, do you think this guy is going to start going after rappers or people who? Or
hold on,
like,
but there's context to
media,
that, right?
hold
To
on,
be
well,
fair,
media people like, okay, sure.
to be fair
what's
to
the
Chris
context?
Guy,
What's
the context was that him and YG had an argument, and YG said something about his wife, Chris Guy's wife.
Yeah, they were having an argument on
So
Clubhouse.
Chris Guy's, I'm assuming his response to YG was because of what YG said about his wife. And once you introduce family to an argument, it's pretty much whatever goes at that
Gloves
point.
are off, yeah.
So to be fair to Chris Guy,
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, yeah.
If somebody does talk about my wife, it's over.
yeah. So, I don't know. There might be more to it, but as I understand it, that's the situation.
It's a lot of clout chasing in the end of the day.
Yeah.
Right? Because you're running for a mayoral campaign. So who cares what the rappers think of you, bro?
Yeah.
We're not trying to, like, especially the ones who weren't going to be voting anyway.
Exactly.
So bringing him up or using, like, I don't know, maybe that's just something on the page itself.
Mm-hmm.
But that clip being something that's circulated, that's not something that's going to be
I agree.
people watching that and saying, okay, well, now I'm going to go vote for this guy. You know what I'm saying?
I agree.
He's not gaining extra constituents from
No.
these types of posts. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? He's just running around in the mud with the rest of us.
And
fam.
that's what I mean.
Crazy.
He's not your typical politician. Like, he will get in the weeds with pretty much anyone.
Anybody.
Well, that
So-
ain't going to make you win.
No.
Right? That's all it is going to do is get you extra clout for whatever your next play is going to be. Right? Salute to Dusty Wallace. We were discussing this on our pod yesterday.
Shout out Dusty.
Right?
Yeah, for
He was
sure.
saying that the man is an agent. Right?
Is it man's
Hold on,
wife?
the man's
An agent. You might need to get an X-File sound in that one there.
I know.
Hold on. See, that sound effect is way too long. Stop it. What'd you say?
An agent.
An agent?
Yeah.
Agent provocateur.
Yeah.
Okay.
So people who I think what Dusty was trying to say is like people who solicit emotions out of people.
Yeah, and then come into our culture, create all kinds of dissension and all types of stuff for your own personal goals, bro.
Which reminds me, I researched on him, and his father is part of like a Fortune,
Yeah, I've
500,
been hearing that his father is
Canadian
billionaire.
company. So like the top 20 richest
Yeah.
Canadian businesses who employ the most people in the billions.
And that probably would make sense why he acts the way he does and doesn't really give a fuck because he comes from money.
Yeah,
But what you need us for then?
yeah,
That's a good point.
because he's a snake. He's a snake male. A snake. What's it called?
Snake oil salesman.
That's it. That's all. That's all he is.
Yeah.
I mean, Chris Guy, we want you on the podcast.
Yo,
Mia
hold
Singh,
on.
we
Where's-
want you on the podcast.
Where's my camera?
Justin
Right
Trudeau,
there,
we
right
want
there,
you on the
right
podcast.
I said this yesterday, and I'm going to say it again. You're a goof. You know what that means, fam.
That be fighting
yeah,
words.
that's a diddler.
No, no, that's everything all in one.
Yeah. The goof.
No. Yeah, from where we're from, it means diddler.
Like if you like for a man who's been inside, right?
Mm-hmm.
Somebody calls you a goof.
Yes.
You're a rat. You're a diddler. You're everything all in one.
Yes,
Right?
it's the worst thing you could call someone.
Goof.
Jeez.
Chris Guy didn't say it. We watched you on the podcast. Anyways, did you want to ask him about Montreal?
Yes. How do you know?
I mean, I just want to remind. Oh, well, I got a piece of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hold on. Okay, you know what?
No,
I'm
go
not
ahead.
gonna
Go ahead.
You know
Do it. No, do it. Go ahead. Do it.
No,
Go ahead, do it.
listen. Because you know I love shaming my big brother here. But this is the second time we're doing this in the same day. Because someone in this room, not Friday, not me, forgot to press record. Okay? So, we have to kind of go back and do the same thing over again. We got 49 minutes into the interview.
It was not 49. It was more like 20 minutes. It's more like 20 minutes. It was more like 20 minutes, 25 minutes.
We're about 2 hours in. Oh,
49 minutes and 30 seconds.
Friday started getting
The first time it ever happened to me and the last time it'll ever happen to me. Terrible. I'm going to go home and cry in a corner tonight.
See, Friday's on a tight schedule. Now
We
we have to
all
stay here
are.
so
We
we can
all
do this
are.
again. Okay.
I'm missing a flight, all types of shit. No, I'm playing.
No, but so you grew up in Montreal.
I did.
And the culture's kind of different between Montreal and Toronto. When did you leave Montreal, you said?
1997. I was 22 years old at the time, so I was what I already thought was a full adult, you know what I'm saying? And made my way out here for the music industry dreams. One thing in Montreal, there's a ceiling, right? And there's a ceiling here, I realized here too, but before I digress, right? There's a ceiling in Montreal when it comes to being in the music game, especially the hip hop game. There's a lot of competition when it comes to the French rappers and stuff like that too. So there's only so much room for an English rapper to blow up. So when I'm watching TV back there in the 90s and I'm seeing Socrates and Shock Claire and all these guys on TV, I'm like, holy smokes, these guys are rap superstars.
Yeah.
Toronto, you can get on TV from being in Toronto. Like we barely had any rappers on TV in Montreal. You know what I'm saying? So that was like my next move. And part of the thing I did when I came out here is I went to school. I applied for a few schools and I got accepted into Harris Institute of the Arts. Or you didn't really have to get accepted.
So when you left, you just left? Oh, okay, for was it college?
Yeah, it's like a trade school, but for music, right? They have two different sides of the school. There's the production side where you can learn about engineering and production and stuff like that, or the management side where you can learn about marketing and management. So I took that program.
Okay.
Right.
And you were a rapper at one point too.
I was.
How'd you get into becoming a rapper? Because you were part of Empire.
I mean, that's why you came to Toronto, right?
Well, I was managing Empire, right?
Okay.
As far as like being
remember Empire.
a lyricist on Empire, those guys had 6 guys in their crew. They didn't need another one.
Yeah,
You know what I'm
yeah,
saying?
yeah.
But they needed direction as far as getting their stuff out. So I managed and I executive produced their album. But I was rapping since 93?
Damn.
Something like that. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
And we did shows in Montreal. We opened for Raekwon the Chef and The Roots and Souls of Mischief, all types of stuff.
I mean, is it a good memory? Like managing Empire, was that a good time for you?
Yeah, listen, it was a pivotal point in my career because when I started managing them, that's when I met 40, who is a friend of mine to today. All right,
40, we want you on the podcast.
yeah. And 2, like I got to meet so many people through that experience. All right, to this day, people who know about that time still want more Empire stuff.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
I remember I went to one of the Empire shows back in 2007, and it was on Danforth, or was it 2006? I'm not sure. It was on you guys had the whole fucking crowd like moving, like everybody came out for you guys. It was like I went there. I'm like, yo, I don't think you remember. I was also producing back then. I gave you a CD back then. I'm like, somebody told me this is the guy, this is the man you want to talk to, whatever. So,
Really, back then?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So
You were producing?
Yeah, I was producing back then.
Okay.
And then I had a CD, and then I came up to you and I gave it to him. Like I had my information in there. Gave it to you like this was 2006, 2007.
Wow.
And And it's funny because I vaguely remember the memory because it was just like a time that I was doing so many things at once. And when I heard him say Empire, I was like, oh fuck! I remember that time.
Yeah.
And it was a good time. It was a cool time in Toronto back then because it was before the Drake period.
That's when Drake started coming into the fold. That's when he started like doing the open mic things and stuff like that. Like 2006, 2007.
Yeah.
This is when he was really just on the grassroots level, like popping up outside of venues and stuff like that, just trying to like make people hear him.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So we were around for that. We saw a lot of people in the beginnings of their careers. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And you know, the guys from Empire have gone on to do different things that they've gone on to do, but just that time alone, like so many big moments happened, and that was also a changing in the physical to the digital because we were doing a lot of mixtape sales. You know, big up the Trader Rhyme Animal. He's you know, went all over Canada selling those SARS mixtapes.
Yep.
And that was a hand-to-hand thing.
Yeah.
But in 2007, when you know, Drake and everybody was starting to get new into the scene, and we had our Empire album drop in 2009, that was one of the first digital deals that we had, right? Where, you know, we made our own physical copies because like that's where we came from, but we were actually selling stuff on iTunes, and that was very early in the game.
Yeah.
Right.
So you were like the man back then, like you were just doing it, like despite what everybody thinks, like they don't actually do your Googles like on you, like they just think that you popped up out of this podcast, and they just know you for the podcast. They don't know the man.
Y'all
behind.
better do your research.
Yeah, they don't know the man behind like the grind.
Did you have a favorite MC in Empire?
A favorite MC.
Outside
Don't
of
do
yourself?
that. Don't do that.
No. I'm doing it.
I'll reiterate, I wasn't an MC in Empire. Anytime they would let me jump on a tune, that was an honor. You know what I'm saying? Because they can handle that, right? But to be honest, oh my God, and this probably will give me some kind of... Adam Bomb is to me was my favorite. Adam Bomb is a natural.
That's a good answer.
You know what I'm saying? Like this man can write a rhyme and then go and recite it right that night at the radio station flawlessly. I'm like, how did you even remember that? Like, I literally just saw you finish writing it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So that's a gift.
Absolutely.
He's one of those guys who are really passionate about it.
Yeah.
You spoke about Drake a little bit. Looking back, seeing the early beginnings of Drake to what he is now, like what's your overall thought on his success?
It makes me proud to know that this guy comes from Toronto. He's the most famous rapper in the world.
In the world.
Right? So to be able to see his ascension from, like I was mentioning, like being there on the streets, like rapping in ciphers and stuff like that, none of us seen that coming.
No.
Right? But one thing I do remember is when Best I Ever Had dropped, and I started getting calls from people in the States and stuff like, yo, your boy Drake is going crazy. Yeah. And that's when I realized something's going to happen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For me, it's when I think Brand New, his song Brand New, I think that was the first time people actually heard Drake
That's actually for me my introduction.
Yeah. No, it wasn't my introduction because before that, I think he had City Is Mine playing on the radio. And I was doing DVDs that time. It was the DVD era. And I feel like that era of music for Canadian hip-hop was just, in my opinion, probably the best music out of Canada. But my boy told me, he's like, yo, you know Degrassi? I never watched Degrassi. The old Degrassi I watched, but not the new generation.
Shoot the Spike.
Yes. And he told me, yo, this kid right here, you know Degrassi, the guy in the wheelchair? This is him. I'm like, this is him? Like the guy on City Is Mine, da-da-da-da. And we got him on the DVD. And we did a couple of interviews with him. I should release those interviews.
With Drake?
Yeah, with Drake. Yeah.
What?
Yeah, pre-blow up pitch. Juice DVD. Yeah. Yeah.
Humble brag.
We got Boy Wonder on there. We got T- on there. Boy Wonder did the score for Juice DVD and T-. And we got Drake pre-blow up pitch. Humble guy. Went to his studio a couple times. I think he was always with Nico at that time. And I knew there was something special, but I'd be lying to you if I said I seen this coming. Because at the time I was doing DVDs, the question was, who's going to be the person to do it for Canada? At that time, Cardi was doing his thing. And to see where Drake took it, and we're talking about, He dropped 09. We're in 2023, so that's like a 14-year chokehold on the game.
Yeah.
It is something special to witness, and it's more special for us because we were there.
We were there.
At the beginning, like, you know, so to see it, like, you know, we're witnesses of it. I don't know. I just thought I'd, you know, just flex a little bit.
I want to go back to your upbringing a little bit.
Talk to me.
We Love Hip Hop is the name of your network.
Yes, sir.
And your podcast. And I guess everything that you guys are doing over there. You Love Hip Hop is the center point of the name. What song made you fall in love with hip hop?
LL Cool J, I'm Bad. All right.
Classic.
From the Bigger and Deffer album.
I'm gonna play it real quick for the little kids, real quick.
Woo. All right. The setting is a young Friday Ricky Dred.
What year is this? 85?
You had dreads? You actually had dreads?
85 around there.
Yeah.
I was in Barbados on a little vacation, watching it on the little TV. Woo. And I was like, what the hell is this, man?
Right?
Like, what is he doing? You know what I'm saying? Like, why are the words coming out of his mouth like that? You know what I'm saying? Like, it was like, because like, you weren't hearing rap. You understand what I'm saying? Like, people's music that you heard was singing.
Yeah.
Right? So this guy's like hitting you with a million words. I'm like, what the hell? I was in awe. After that,
That was it.
it was it. That was it. You know what I mean? Now I want to just hear everything that sounds like that. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
Like, guys just yelling cool shit at me. Like,
Make some noise for hip hop.
You know what I'm saying? Salute to LL. That's the god. Right
Shout out to Canadian hip hop. Where do I go with this question? Are you happy with what you're seeing musically in the culture? Are you happy with the talent? Do you feel like there's room for improvement? Do you think we're doing enough? Just, you know.
There's always room for improvement. I don't want to ruffle feathers, but actually, fuck it, I'll ruffle feathers. The problem with a lot of Canadian hip hop that's coming out now, and it's been this for like years, is that we've still chased the American sound. Yes, now some guys have, guys use their own slang and stuff like that, but they're still using their own slang within different templates of American sound.
Yes.
Right? So you'll have your Toronto version of the Detroit rapper. You'll have your Toronto version of the Atlanta rapper.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Whatever the new beat or the new type of flow that's in, a Toronto man will do it, but just say, yo, man them and walk one instead.
Got
You know what I'm saying? And that's not enough.
It's true.
Right? The reason that Drake and Tory and those guys are so huge, is because they don't sound like nobody else, fam.
They sound like them. Yeah.
Right? Even when Drake, quote unquote, culture vultures other people's sounds, when his voice cuts into the track, you know that's Drake.
It's his own. Yeah.
I don't care how he's flowing. You know that's him.
Yeah.
I can't say the same for all the rest of these guys.
Yeah.
And being impressed. Okay? It's hard to impress these guys in the States, fam. They got 100,000 rappers they can listen to instead of us. So what the fuck are you really going to do to impress us? Don't just be okay. Be exceptional. Or get out of here. Go home.
Are you saying that they need, like, Canada
Step
needs
your
its own
fucking game up.
That too. But has Canada had its own sound? Like, have we ever?
That hasn't happened yet,
Okay.
right? They have their own slang, but their own sound is a whole different thing.
Yes.
When the man from OVO came in with that underwater beat sound and everything like that, and then Bryson Tiller and everybody started riding the tune, right? Everybody started biting their sound. There was a minute where everybody was doing that OVO 40 sound.
Yeah.
Like, am I wrong or right?
No, it's true. It's
Right?
like he'll do like this reverb and it sound muffled, and then the sound will come clear again. Like,
So they were
like you
able
said,
to create
underwater.
a
Yeah,
trend for what they were doing. They didn't follow a trend. They created a trend. These little niggas been following trends for mad years, and their predecessors, guys like us, when we were doing the Taliban teas and all that, we were trying to be Dipset, fam.
Taliban tease.
Right? We were trying to be Dipset, fam. So get our own identity, and then you'll get the results. Because the ones who did have their own identity, Tory, Drake, Weeknd. Let's cut those guys out. The rappers, Tory and Drake, they're the only ones people give a fuck about, fam, because they sound like themselves.
Yeah, yeah,
As far as the States,
yeah.
it's easy to impress us over here, fam.
But one could argue that you've actually molded the Toronto sound in the last 5 years.
Me?
Yeah.
Hell no.
You don't think so?
Nah,
You don't think? But
fam.
you don't think? You don't
I
think
want to hear that argument.
You don't think? But you don't think you're like a gatekeeper? Like,
No.
You don't think you're a gatekeeper?
You can't gatekeep the internet, bro.
No. Don't try to
can't
walk it back. You said he
gatekeep
molded the sound.
WWW, bro.
Molding, like, come on. What do you mean?
Your opinions and your posts probably boasted a couple of these kids'
I guess
algorithms.
To a degree, I guess, in some ways. But if you're somebody who already has your game plan going and you've been pushing your music, getting your business together, doing all of the promotion that you need to do, We Love Hip Hop is cool. It'll be a cool interview, but like it's not the reason that you're blown up.
No.
Those Wasp guys have been alive, well, doing their thing way before We Love Hip Hop
sure.
came around.
Okay.
Can media blow up artists in this
It definitely can, but maybe I'm being humble.
You are being humble.
I don't think we're there yet, fam.
I think you blew it up a couple of people. I'll have a couple of names for you.
Give me some names, please.
I want to hear the names too.
Like,
You need time?
don't get me wrong. There are some people that people didn't hear about before us, but I feel that at the same time, it's because our trajectory was ahead of theirs, right? If your trajectory is already ahead of ours, you already developed a fan base
Yes.
that people know about, and we want you on there because we want to take advantage of your fan base as well as get some of the biggest people that the audience want to get on the show.
Sure.
Facts.
Right?
Facts.
But they're already doing well before us or without us.
That's fair. That's fair.
Maybe, like I said, it's just maybe me being humble, but that's just how I feel, fam. That's why I'm always on the grind.
When did you have the eureka moment to be like, hey, I'm going to do this?
That's there was a actual moment when I was working at the office because I came from a corporate job. Okay, actually I came from jail to a corporate job. Okay, I went away in 2009 for a gun conviction or a gun charge that turned into a conviction in 2010. Came home in 2011 on an early parole and got to work. 2011, and then I started working at Shoppers head office in 2013. Okay. During that time, I was doing my thing. I was
Get off your phone.
If you don't know, I'm researching.
I was doing the research.
Yeah.
But, okay.
Well, you should have done that already. You should have done it already at home.
Well, you know what? It's more research.
So 2017 is when we started the show. Okay. By 2018, we had already done the Biz Loke interview and a few other interviews that had gotten us a lot more notoriety. I'm always going to put the Biz Loke interview there because that's our discovery interview. I always say that, okay? We did 49 episodes before that.
Actually, Biz Loke's one dude that you've actually, I would say that you've put on.
I don't say, I can't say we
I
put on.
I would say.
You would say, but you'd be wrong. No.
He was already doing his
he
thing,
was
but
bubbling.
that interview,
The
definitely
interview was classic.
helped his visibility because of the shit show of what it was. Okay? But we did 46 episodes before that, and 47 with that crazy interview helped blow us up. Yeah. And then we kept on going. And then I went to the office one day because at this point I'm working from home, doing remote work. Like back in the days before remote was a thing, I used to be able to do remote working for Shoppers.
Sure.
Okay? I'm chilling. I'm making like 50, 60,000 a year.
Hold on. You come straight out of prison and you get a corporate job? Is that what happened? Is that what you said?
Bro.
Make some noise for prison to corporate.
Yeah.
Wow.
Fam, I was in there going to visit my parole officer downstairs because we have to check in once a month. But I can't go to the office because I don't work construction or just some contracted anywhere. Like I'm in the office every day, fam. I'm training people. Like you got to come downstairs and meet me.
Yeah.
This is me and my parole officer sitting in the car. Yo, fam, I do my goddamn thing. However, I walked into the freaking place one day to go get my laptop fixed. And I get into the IT department, and there's a brother working behind the counter, and he goes, "A lie. They told me you worked here, but I didn't believe them." Like he broke code. I was like looking around like, yo, is anybody hearing us talk like this? Like, chill, bro. Yeah. And then at that point, I was like, yeah, it's time to get out of there. And about 2 months later, I quit that job, bro.
Salute to that.
Yeah, big shout out to that, actually.
And you haven't gone back to a 9 to 5 since.
Not to say that I'm like swimming in money
No,
or
I know,
anything.
I know.
It gets scary sometimes, but I never look back.
That is scary though.
Oh,
Right.
I went on EI for the first year and change. I was like, I was paranoid.
Tell these people they don't know shit.
Oh my God, yo. I'm like, and plus I came from the streets. So my next option could just be like, yo, just jump back in the streets heavy.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, and there was some times that did slip a little bit too. I ain't gonna
Absolutely.
lie. But at the same time, I'm editing, I'm doing all these different things. I'm getting new guests. I'm building this platform where it's like, you know what? Less and less street, more and more platform. You know what I'm saying? Until you started making it make some money in different ways. And plus, you got to find different revenue streams from other things. Like I'm a landlord. I do other things in life besides this, right?
Yeah.
So, as I started establishing my other revenue streams where I can concentrate on this content thing, it's like I can't afford to really go and work another job and keep this content up at this rate.
Got it.
You know what I'm saying?
Do you have a favorite interview?
A favorite?
Yeah. For whatever reason, maybe the energy, maybe it was smooth, maybe the guests you had was entertaining. Do you have a favorite interview?
It's going to be obscure. Mindbender is one of my favorite interviews.
Mindbender.
Yeah, I just interviewed him back last summer. We spoke for like 2.5 hours.
Was it the magician?
No, the rapper Mindbender Supreme.
Yeah. He's at all the Toronto shows.
You're thinking about Chris Sky, not Chris Angel, Kevin Hamden.
Yeah.
Kevin Hamden. But Mindbender, he's just such an interesting individual, like from being a rapper to, getting into like journalism and stuff like that. Like he wrote for like 5 different magazines at some point in time, you know what I'm saying? Like, and then getting into the corn world after, or the adult film industry and stuff after, like, this guy's like the most interesting man in the world to me, fam.
And why is that? And is that the reason why he's your favorite? Is because
he just has so much things to talk about.
So many things to talk about.
Right? Like I interview a lot of rappers. I interview a lot of people from different places. But a lot of my favorite interviews with all due respect to the rappers, come from non-rappers. Right? Because there's so much things to talk about. Like, you could rap too, but like if you've done a whole bunch of other things in life, we could sit there and talk for 2 hours, fam.
So what advice would you give rappers to improve their interviewing skills? What are some tips you would give them to
learn how to speak? Okay? They act like they don't know how to speak, but they're choosing to speak the way that they do.
Like code switch.
They don't have to completely code switch, but don't be everything have to be like if I was to answer every question, especially as a YouTube person, and we're trying to keep our YouTubes monetized, and every time I ask you a question, you're like, fuck. Well, you know what I mean? Fuck, you know what I mean? Like, you get what I'm saying, fam? Like, man, like, yo, fam, like, like your parents taught you how to speak English properly, fam. You mans are just acting like this on purpose, bro. And they did it so long that now they're stuck that way. Like, just fucking get out of it and answer the damn question like a human being, fam. I've interviewed some rappers who are some gully mans, and they'll sit there and articulate themselves proper. You know what I'm saying? So these other niggas who do it, there's no excuse, fam. You're just being dumb on purpose, bro.
Yes. That's why I was impressed when I first heard 50 Cent do an interview, because this guy comes from the trenches.
Yeah.
But you wouldn't know that hearing him talk. The intelligence, the articulation, the way he gets his point across. The way he talks doesn't represent, in my mind, where he comes from. So you're absolutely right.
Yeah.
And I've seen some interviews with some rappers, I won't say any names, where I'm interested in hearing the story, but just like 3 minutes of just hearing them talk, I'm just like, fuck it.
It's brutal, fam.
Yeah, it is.
Try
brutal.
editing that, bro.
I can't do it. Yeah.
It's
Try editing the curses out of all of that. I edit my curses out. You know that, right? Like those interviews on YouTube, like it's for the most part.
Does it hurt the monetization? I haven't seen it.
It does. It hurts the especially.
You mean the
now.
algorithm? You mean like the eyeballs finding the video? Or
no? It means your video will not get monetized because there's too much profanity in it.
Got it. Okay, so I was doing some, not research, but I had to go back on my Instagram because I reposted one of your videos where you were speaking about artists being on your platform and them having to build a fan base to be on your platform. And you got considerable pushback for that, where people, I guess, felt like you were better than rappers that you weren't allowing on the show. So it's this video. I think it was on the Island Diaz show.
Okay. Yeah. So I'm gonna say to all those people in the audience, suck my dick, right? Second,
YouTube strike.
you can blank
That's
that.
like YouTube
right?
strike 30 already.
Okay.
All right? But listen, it's the problem is a lot of those people who are in the comments who are complaining are the people who don't want to put in the work. They're like, I'm talented, put me on. Shut up, man. I don't care how talented you are. If you're not willing to push your music, then your talent is nil.
Would you ever take payola?
No.
You would never take payola.
You know how many people have asked me how much people have offered me money to be on the damn show? I've told them no every single time, fam.
Is it because they just weren't talented, or?
Well, one, I'm not trying to go against the journalistic code of ethics.
Okay.
Right? Two, now I set a precedent that I could get every trash rapper who makes money in the trap to get on my damn show. Fuck no. I can get rich off of it, but I'm not going to do it. You know what I'm saying? Now I'm going to have everybody who nobody cares about on the show just because they have money.
Got it.
And the thing is, when it comes to building a platform where people in the audience care about the people who they're watching, the reason that they care about these people is because they put in work.
Put in work.
You know what I'm saying? It's not because they're the most talented. It's they've created the visibility for themselves. And them being talented is a bonus too. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But I'll interview a shitty rapper, and I'm going to say this thing. I'll interview a shitty rapper who's busting their back to get their music out there and getting audience over some talented motherfucker who doesn't put out any content, never posts on his Instagram, you know what I'm saying? But he's so amazing at rapping. Shut up, bro.
Yeah.
If you don't want to do it, get somebody on your team to do it, bro.
Okay. Wow.
So, outside of Toronto, which city is Canadian friendly, hip hop friendly, other than Toronto?
You mean like which city puts the most output or gets the most love from outside of
both?
Canada?
Everything, in every sense of everything of the word, rather.
It's easy to say Vancouver, but I would say Ottawa.
What are you looking at me for?
No. It's a hot take.
He's from Ottawa, so he's proud.
There you
He's
go.
having a proud moment.
Right, there you go.
I've always told this guy, it's like you got to go there. It's completely different.
It's small, but it's producing a lot of Night Lavelle, Belly,
City
Fidelia, right? Harvey Stripes. These guys are all done big things in the game. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? But they're low key coming from one of the smallest spots in Canada.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. What is it going to take to have some of Canada's biggest artists to be on our platform, right? Because I would love to see a Drake, a Tory, I'm not sure about Nav, a Weekend on a We Love Hip Hop, on a Steady Mobbin. Do you think, I know some of those guys generally don't do interviews, but it would just be amazing to see them on a Canadian hip hop platform, just showing support.
It has to make sense for them, right? I take no offense of not getting any of those gentlemen yet because
you got 40
ain't there yet.
You got 40.
I got 40, but that's because he's my friend.
Yeah,
and he only gave us 15 minutes, and I love the 15 minutes that we got. Yeah. Right, it was on an anniversary date. Like I think it was our 300th episode. So he was like, "Yeah, I'll give you 15 minutes of interview time. You can ask a few questions, but to get an in-depth interview, we have to be at a certain level where it makes sense for them to be jumping up on the network to do their promotion. Like these guys have objectives and different things that they need to do every time they step out, right? So are they doing it because they're trying to throw us a bone and do some charity work? Or are they doing it because like we can both work with each other? It's going to be a symbiotic relationship where like I do this interview with you, it's helping you and it's helping me, right? But if it's just helping us, what the fuck are we doing it for?
That's fair.
Right?
Yeah.
To be like, what? I hope you guys keep on doing your thing. If any of the, like, you know, you guys, like, we get a Drake interview tomorrow, but then the platform ends like 3 months later because we weren't really at the level we were at, like self-sufficient, money coming in, like big platform. Then what the hell did he do the interview for?
Got it.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So every day I'm preparing for the Super Bowl You know what I'm saying?
That's a
Making
good way to
sure
put it.
that all our equipment is pristine and stepping up all the time. Studio spaces, different content is so crazy, so well produced, so entertaining that, you know what I'm saying, we're accruing an audience that's so wide that he's like, yo, I need to get on that show.
Got it.
You know what I'm saying? This will help my next move. And then we'll get him.
Yeah. Drake, we want you on the podcast.
Yeah.
I mean, gotta shoot for the stars, right?
So, you know, in the beginning of your podcast, you'd have like non-hip hop guests pull up. A couple of them were like Chromas and what was the other girl?
Romance, another
Debbie
rapper.
and Debbie.
Oh, Debbie. R.I.P.
How
Debbie.
many times was she on your show for?
Who, Debbie?
Yeah.
She's been on twice.
Why do I feel like maybe there's been clips that are online? It feels like she's been on there for like 30 times.
No. She's been on our show twice. And anytime Debbie's been on our platform, it's been in an interview form. Like we never, and RIP Debbie once again, we never like reposted her on the street wild and out and different things like how blogs used to post. Anytime that we had any content about Debbie or it's when it's with Debbie, asking her about the things that are going on road, like why is this happening? Maybe even and salute to Gutsy, like because he interviewed her most of the time, right?
Yeah.
Trying to get to the bottom of like why are you like this, right? So it was like not and it wasn't in an exploitive type of way.
One could view it that way though.
Yeah, one could view it, but at the same time, are they the ones setting up the lights, forwarding down to their studios, doing all that stuff? They're just posting whatever they see on road.
How did you feel about the blogs posting her, and did you feel that was exploitive, or
it could be looked at it that way, but at the same time, the blogs are here to do what they're supposed to do, fam. Like, unless you're we're a little bit different in blogs, even though we're blogs, because we create content, but blogs are always looking for content so that they can get more clicks, where in turn, now if somebody wants some promotion on their page, the page is lit. Yeah, it's this price. Like everybody's trying to get money, so I can't get mad at the blog for posting something that's going to get them a lot of clicks.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? No matter what it is.
And you mentioned Gutsy. He used to work with you. Is there any, well, I guess it's a stupid question, but I'm going to ask it anyways, right? Okay. Is there any possibility of reconciliation between you and Gutsy, or is it just too far gone at this point?
The only way that there's reconciliation if there's just something wrong in the first place. There's nothing wrong. I don't have an issue with him. You know what I'm saying? I didn't fire him. He left the network. I keep it moving. Right? I do understand that I hear sometimes them talk about us on their platforms. Not a lot, but I've heard it here and there.
Yeah.
But vice versa doesn't happen, fam. You know what I'm saying? If I don't have an issue with somebody, I'm not going to get on my platform. Even if I do have an issue, I'm not going to get on my platform and be like, this.
Yeah, you've been kind of good in that sense. Like, I haven't really heard or seen you lick out against anybody, really. You've kind of kept it kind of cordial and just been like, yeah, you wish them all the best, and that's it.
Yeah.
Can you look at the camera and tell them?
No.
They don't have an issue with. Well,
I ain't got no
Friday
issue with him.
There's no issue.
It's cool content to make. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, is it cool on my side or is it more cool on their side?
Is there anything behind the scenes that they could be misconstruing as disrespect, or anything that's kind of obscure that they could be seeing you? Because one of the things I heard was that you would like certain posts that may be criticizing them, and you would like that post, so they would take that as some
Stop
sort of
bullshitting. You observe that.
I did observe it. If I did, I'd tell them.
Oh man, I wish I had that much time to think about Instagram like that, fam.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Like, no, real shit. Like, that takes a lot of time and methodology, and just like I'm not.
Yeah,
bro, I'm not that smart.
You guys will crack a million if you guys do a podcast together. Definitely crack a million.
Well, I mean, like, it's not everybody you can work with, right? Sometimes you just gotta, just keep your distance.
But
you
we
can
can
appreciate a
do some
person.
UFC shit. It'll be cool.
I
Or that's like with
guess.
WWF or WWE, whatever.
But I
it's
like
called.
the way you summed it up, because I watched one of your episodes where you're like, why would I beef with another Canadian podcaster. We're literally like
Same
two
people.
crabs in a bucket fighting for what? Nobody cares.
Not outside of Toronto.
Not outside of Toronto.
Actually,
Nobody cares.
do you know your algorithms not show other towns? Like all of Canada is buzzing. Like it's all over the place.
Yeah, but like, okay, we might get some people who in Montreal might like, yo, I've been hearing about this, da 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 da. But like, I'm trying to get to the world, fam.
Yeah.
The world doesn't give a shit about the little little issues that we have with our city.
You'd be
with other
surprised.
content creators. They care about when the rappers are going at each other, fam.
It's true, yeah.
And trying to take each other's head off for real, for real.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Us doing that, we'd have to really take it to that level for it to be entertaining for the whole world. Like, yo, these podcasters bumped into each other at a spot and try to shoot at each other.
Yes, I agree.
I'm not going in there like going, fam, I got off the streets so that I can do content and not have to deal with street shit.
Got it.
Right? So I have zero beef with anybody. I'm talking about people who've said the wildest shit about me when it comes to content. Because I've had my doors kicked off, fam. For real shit.
What do you mean? Oh, okay,
Like,
yeah, I see what you're
Splinters in the door,
Got it,
guns in my face.
Got it,
You know what I'm
yeah,
saying?
yeah.
For real shit.
Oh.
So content, you can never be a beef.
Which reminds me of content. You're like destined for the camera. You were on early on the this is Toronto, or is it Toronto?
Real Toronto.
Real Toronto.
yeah.
And you're representing the hood, Parkdale.
Yes, sir.
So when you touched down from Montreal, Parkdale was your home?
Yes, sir. That was the first place that I touched down. That was the place that in the early years of me living here, I spent the most time. Like, I lived in Parkdale about 10 years before I really started making
Shout out
my moves
Parkdale,
around.
yeah.
You looked pretty fucking scary in that video.
It's like, you know what? I feel like I was the least scary one out of everybody there because all I did
But
is
you're
talk about,
articulate. You're like articulate. Yo, we out here. We got this. And you go, what?
but I didn't pull out no burners.
You didn't. You didn't.
Like the rest of that video just went left, bro.
Yo, when did you realize that you're like, yo, I can't believe I was there? Like, what the fuck happened?
When it came out,
Yeah.
when it came out on like when the DVD finally dropped, and salute to Mad Russian who put that DVD
Russian,
together,
yeah.
right?
Mm-hmm.
And he was telling me, oh, I met this person. I went to this hood, and I used to just be like, yeah, whatever, bro, cool. Like I wasn't really thinking about it, but when it dropped, and then it hit television, like I started
CBC.
seeing, like they started
CBC.
talking about it in the
Newspapers,
news.
everything, yeah.
I was like, oh snap!
It was a Real Toronto rap sheet.
Yeah.
Rap sheet DVD. Shout out rap sheet.
Did anybody, any of the lieutenants or like special agents come up to you and be like, hey, we want to chat with you real quick. What's going on?
Dude, I got into an accident one time. Not a big accident, like a little bumped into somebody's bumper, right?
Uh-huh.
And when the cops came, he's like, you look kind of familiar. Right? I was like, nah. He's like, no, I feel like I seen you on TV or something, right?
Oh, man.
This is 06, right?
06, right?
Yeah, because
Oh,
the thing dropped in 05.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Right? I was like, nah, man, I don't know. Maybe it's the wrong guy,
Not
right?
the wrong guy.
But I knew after that interaction, I was like, yeah, this guy probably, they probably have mad copies over at the cop station.
Yeah, they're all watching at home. Like, look at these
For
fucking
sure.
guys.
Yeah.
For sure.
No, I bumped into a kid one time in the elevator. He was like, bro, you know I had to do a school project because of your shit, man? I'm like, sorry, bro. Hope you got an A. Like, I don't know, man. Like,
Wow.
like that thing, that was early viral.
That, yeah.
So, like, when it dropped,
definitely.
you read it. Like, read it then and then.
Fam, the Bill Blair, who was the police chief at the time, was watching watching it on the TV on the news. I remember watching
And he chose
CP24. They're showing a shot from behind him
That's you.
with his legs folded, watching the TV, and Real Toronto is on a big screen in front of him. And I swear it might have been Tona or one of them mans on the screen. I was like, oh, snap.
Yeah.
We didn't even have the word viral to say, yo, we went viral. They were just like,
Y'all famous for all the wrong reasons.
man, we were paranoid. I was paranoid. I know enough mans got locked up behind that.
For sure.
Yo, Sonny
course.
Clay got deported.
For sure.
Who?
Sonny Clay.
The Afghani guy?
Sonny Clay.
No,
Sonny
Jamaican
Clay.
guy.
Yeah,
Oh.
yeah.
He had the AK and he swung it.
Yeah. Yeah.
I was like, oh, snap.
I'll drop a gem now because I used to work with Rap Sheet.
Mm.
I used to be a part of Rap Sheet. And
Salute to
I
see
was-
money in future. yo.
shout out to C Money in Future. And I was uncomfortable with the way they were promoting the DVD, there was a lot of illegal stuff going on. And I'm not from the streets. And I'm like, yo, this can't be a good idea. And we actually had a falling out. It got physical.
Damn, son.
Wow.
And that prompted me to do Juice DVD. I'm like, yo, those guys, they could focus on the guns. We're going to have girls. We're going to have rappers. We're going to have, at the time, bum fights was really popular. So we did a variation of bum fights.
That's
we
crazy.
call it, I feel bad. But we had homeless people, don't condemn me for this, drink Moet out of their boots for money.
That's wild.
I'm going to keep it a buck. That's what we did. But we did everything, and we just stayed away from the guns because it made me so uncomfortable.
Okay.
And I just knew there would be major heat. And when I saw Rap Sheet, I think on the front of the Sun News, the paper, because them times, you could hit the paper box, and I'm like, there we are.
Yep.
There we are on the front of the Toronto Sun Rap Sheet. This ain't good. And
whole
shout out to
country
Sonny
saw the
Clay.
video.
Yeah,
I got
yeah.
a rap sheet, Jewel. They have an unreleased video from me. It's probably sitting on a DVD somewhere, right? That I did. I'm outside. Me and my artist Buns that I had at the time, Salute the Buns, and I'm outside the Don jail. Money phoned up with like $6,000 in a suit. Doing my shot there, yo, fam. Video never came out, fam.
Never came out?
Early money phone, fam. Like I had the $6,000. I thought I was the coolest nigga in the
They
world.
would have got you. The RCP would have got you.
I know, right?
The RCP would have got
Money
you.
was dirty as
You
hell,
need
bro.
to pay taxes on
The
that.
RCP would have
You
come
know
and
what I mean?
got you.
But the DVD era was very, very entertaining.
Holy.
It was scary
Hold on.
too.
Past the stat. That's past the stat. Okay, so
Yeah.
2006. Leave me alone, guys.
Yo, we're gonna have to wrap this up though. I hate to say it, but
Can I ask him who's on his Mount Rushmore?
oh yes. Look at the camera and do your thing.
Okay, so who is on your Mount Rushmore of Canadian rap?
That's a good one. Drake, Tory Lanez, Cardinal Official, and Maestro Fresh West.
That's a solid 4. I was hoping you'd fuck that up. That's a solid 4, man. Good stuff.
I'm part of the culture, fam. I can't fuck that up. You know what I'm saying?
Now some people can get mad at you for some reasons.
Okay. Are you gonna send us out or?
Yeah, we're gonna send it out with a song.
All right.
I would make some requests, but
You have requests?
no. Do your thing.
Great show. Gotta have you back. Down to come back?
Yeah. And I want to come to your studio because I want to smoke in your studio.
Yeah. We burn it down.
It's when I wanna drink before.
Okay.
And usually when I wear a suit, I leave with not one